say I've knocked this one out.
Place my good me in mind.
I ain't arguing today. Anyhow, you can look for it and share the wife.
Yeah, when soon as my phone come up.
Let me slide. Oh, flip it. Cut off it.
No, yeah, dead. It could cut on in a bit. It could be on.
You guys do better. How come your phone is die every day?
You know why? Because when I unplug it at 5:15, 5:20 in the morning, I go pretty much all day. Today was one of the only days because I called in sick today because I wasn't feeling good, and then I stayed in bed until about 12 o'clock, and I felt a little better, so I made a little bank run, and I was out the house for the rest of the day. You
think your battery reaching the end of its life? Because that's what started out.
No, this is a new phone.
Oh, that new?
Yeah, but I must say that it takes at least 10 hours for it to die. And this is with constant data use. You know, I'm not a conservative when it comes to data. I go all out.
Okay.
So
fair enough. Because I know my phone, well, this new one is do pretty good. I messed that one right up.
Yeah, I was supposed to ask you.
What's going on?
I have someone interested. Well, someone got a connection with I think internet radio type deal, and they wanted to record the show, but they wanted to insert music in the middle of it, so it could be like once I record, I could do what I need to do, and then go. So said the Lord, and send it off to them.
Oh, what?
Okay, pretty much.
So said the Lord what?
They just want to be able to record. They want to come in and be able to record and have their podcast here, have the podcast at, I guess, K100 and whatever. In one shot, kill the crow. I think they're just looking for like an hour, probably an hour per week with 2 musical guests coming on.
Okay.
So, I can talk to
you.
We
can do it.
We can talk about it a little further.
All right, let me share it on. I just going to ask you again. I forget you just said your phone dead.
Yeah, my shoulder's killing me.
Well, like, yeah, my part of my back still hurting from where I almost killed myself in Freeport.
You need to go check that out, you know.
What I say is, if after into the weekend, if it's still, like, at the same level intensity or bothering me, then I have to go get it checked out, because it's really only that one spot on my back right there.
Check out Jackie.
Who?
Jackie. She have a chiropractic practice on Cable Beach. That's where I go.
Okay, I'll do that.
I'll send you. I'll have Shar send you the number.
Okay, cool.
She's very good.
I'll take your word for it. Bring one more share. Quality. Tune in. Bing. All right, now I can start this on, yeah? 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, we got to read.
Bullet.
All right, welcome back to the Under the Rug podcast. My brother Jay is here.
What's up?
Chrissy ain't here. Chrissy supposed to have a meeting with some people. Yeah, she's supposed to be getting that sorted out, and they booked the meeting for 5. I know who tell her she could book meeting for 5 o'clock on Thursday when she know where she's supposed to be. But anyhow, I can row about that later. But we are here nonetheless.
Yes, we are.
And Jay, I ain't gonna lie, right?
Hanging on there, hanging in.
I ain't gonna lie, I've been out the loop.
Yeah.
I say the other day, you see me put on Facebook the other day, listen, I need to take me a political hiatus, because for 5 years straight, I've been listening to talk radio, listening to politics, political discussions, all this stuff. And I learned a lot. I ain't gonna say that it was a waste, because I learned a whole lot. Learn about our political system, about the Constitution, learn about how things work. So I learned a lot. But what I realize is, me as a person, what I tend to intake, it then shapes my my desires and the stuff that I want to do. And so I found myself wanting to be involved more and more in the political arena and in politics, when I know
it was pulling you towards 2022.
It was pulling me towards being more involved in politics, and I know that ain't something that I want to deal with.
Have a true desire.
Because that ain't, like, let's be honest, unless you a crook, you ain't gonna get rich in politics.
That is true.
Politics is for crooks to get rich quick, right?
Right.
And that's not the kind of person that I am, and so I wanted to aim my focus more towards my business, entrepreneurship, building wealth for my family for in the future. So I really unplug. I've been unplugged for the past week or so. I just start when we go back from Freeport. So probably about a week, maybe two. I ain't listened to talk radio this week. I ain't been on Facebook that much. I ain't really seen much posts. So I've been out the loop, to be honest with you. But the thing that I did see, scroll past my timeline or run down my timeline, I see Bahamians talking about some kind of gay videos or something again. So apparently there's a new gay video going around. Now, Jay, you got to tell me. You more in the loop. You the guy that's in tune with these things that happen in our country. You have a radio show where you have to discuss these issues. So you know better than I do.
Right.
Please inform me and the rest of the viewers and listeners what has taken place this week. What is it about this video that had people talking about it all week?
Well, allegedly, the reports were that it was a sitting MP for the Free National Movement. And I'm going to call his name, seeing that he actually went on record today to release a statement to say it wasn't him. Reece Shipman, the MP that defeated the former Prime Minister in, I believe it's Centerville, the Centerville constituency. From the screenshots that I saw on, because I didn't see the video, the screenshots that I saw online,
I see it either, by the way.
And the descriptions and the statuses led me to believe that, hey, this person, allegedly Reece, has some, he's bilingual. And
hold on now. You trying to dance around?
I'm not dancing. Actually, that's the joke. That's the joke of this entire situation.
They were actually saying bilingual?
No, he was speaking some Spanish. I think he called a man papi or something like that. I don't know.
Hold on now. You sure you didn't watch this video? You got some intimate details.
It's not. That's not. No.
You got to watch the video to hear these details. No. Or that's just what they say.
People were like. I saw several influencers, social media influencers, talking about it, and I picked up times I got like 20 posts in, and I was like, what? And then my WhatsApp kept going off, and someone actually sent a screenshot side by side with an official photo of Reece, and then a screenshot from the video, and he's like, Jay, you're a photographer,
right?
Let me know if this person, right? And I looked at it, and I looked at all the facial features, and I said, you know what? Possibly this could be him. Like, this really could be him. God dang it. Like, we just had the election. You couldn't wait for a scandal. So I was like, allegedly, an MP got caught doing ass. Blah, 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 blah.
Now, when you say doing...
Yes, I was being
that has a negative connotation.
It wasn't a negative connotation. I was using a pun. Really. Yeah, I was using a pun. So I was like...
Your pun was intended.
Yes, it was intentional, right? So I say allegedly an MP in the F&M administration got caught doing us, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
I'd like to see what Dr. Mendes does, asking for a friend. I say, well, not really. I just want to see how he handles his first scandal, right?
Now, why would that be considered a scandal?
Because here's the thing. Whenever you step into the public light, I think there's a code of conduct that we accept as a people. And unfortunately, homosexuality is not openly embraced as a positive, especially that the alleged victim, because he's a victim of, I guess, cyberbullying or whatever you want to call it, defamation or whatever the case may be.
If it's him.
If
come out deny it, say it's him.
If it's not him, it doesn't matter. He's, in this case, saying that he's denying it. He's a victim of defamation. And the scandal is he's married with kids. And you got caught in this precarious situation, not with a woman, but with another man.
I got you.
You know what I mean?
I got you.
And you know how people go, oh, I always taught y'all he was soft. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm coming from it from an entertainment standpoint, but it's a very serious thing.
Why is it? Well, I get the seriousness of it. And again, he did release a statement today saying that the person in the video is not him.
And doppelgangers are real.
So I won't speak as though
it is him.
We are speaking about him.
Yeah.
Just speaking about the situation
at
itself,
hand,
right? Yeah. If indeed the only issue is, in my eyes, the infidelity.
Right.
If you are indeed married with kids and then you have a video out there dealing with,
Right.
somebody else.
Right.
It's just, but then again, what comes into question is, and this is what a lot of people don't do, we like to jump to conclusions, right? With limited information. We don't know when this took place.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Now, I'm sure.
I mean, the screenshot did have him in a red shirt, so yes. This came so far out of left field and was so damning. Like it took a life. It had a life of its own for a few hours, and BPL crashed, and no
BPL crashed?
Yeah, BPL was off and all last night, dog, and everybody's like, "Oh, this video come out now. BPL off. Y'all trying to stop something? People have data." I was like, "What?"
Wow.
But here's the thing. I mean, here's the thing. If it is you, it's you, right? Can we dictate morality?
Can we dictate morality?
Yes.
But morality is relative. Is subjective. It's like what you may consider moral, someone else may not.
Right.
You understand? So who then determines what we consider to be moral?
Okay.
You know what I mean? That's where things get. I think that's where things get confused and we have issues. Is that people subscribe to things that other people don't? Because, like for me, it is not immoral for someone to engage in sexual activity with another consenting adult, whether they be of the same or opposite sex. I don't care. That don't matter to me. It ain't me laying down. It's whatever you all decide to do, you all do. However, in this country, unfortunately, that is not the general consensus.
Okay.
That is considered immoral. That is considered the worst of the worst in a lot of people's eyes.
Yeah.
I've had people tell me that, and they're speaking to their children, right? Speaking to their children, they said they would rather their son die than to be gay.
Harsh.
This is the mentality that a lot of people in this country have. And this is why I asked, and this is why I put a topic, why are Bahamians so obsessed with homosexuality? And when I say obsessed with it, it's like as soon as there's a issue or a topic that comes up with homosexuality, it's like Bahamians, all the antennas shoot up and they get super excited and they get enraged and they just start commenting, they start calling, they start participating and coming out just blazing with guns. You know what I mean? Like, why are Bahamians so quick to attack any acts of homosexuality?
Okay. One, it's a very easy target, right? It's one of those conversations or discussions where you could throw out all types of ignorant argument. It sticks. No one cares about it. It doesn't take a lot of effort. You know what I mean? It's mindless. In a lot of cases, it's very mindless rhetoric, to be honest, right?
And and a lot of times it doesn't make sense.
It's not beneficial to the wider society, right? My philosophy with homosexuality on the whole, and people say I'm a bit too blunt. I really don't care, right?
Now you got to be careful when you talk about homosexuality and being blunt now.
I honestly don't care. My whole thing is this. For me, it comes down to choice.
Right.
Right? Unless you show me scientific fact where you're born this way, I totally remove that from my. And I don't want to get. I don't want to get into it.
We got to get into it.
Correct. I'm just saying.
You can't throw that out there.
Yes, I can.
And then say no, we ain't getting it.
Okay.
Now,
okay. Let me finish before you go.
Go
Let me finish. All I'm saying is this. Unless you can show me scientific fact, whether they're getting closer to identifying the gene or they think that it's been...
What gene?
The quote-unquote gay gene.
Is there a straight gene? Has someone showing you a scientific fact that there's a straight gene?
Here's the thing, Greg.
Why are you only looking for it on one side?
Here's the thing, Greg. It's not just looking for it on one side, Greg. Here's the thing. Homosexuality is not the minority, right? Not the minority. It's not the majority.
Okay.
Right? It's a minority thing, right? It went from a mental disease to the choice. And here's the thing. I'm not...
You know being a child is a mental disease now, right?
Oh, God. Being anything is a mental disease.
Being a child is. But They just put children on
Correct.
Ritalin for being children, and they consider that what
You know,
is ADHD?
let me just step back because
You
I
can
don't want
diagnose anything,
I don't
you
want
call
to
anything
go.
you want to call it.
I don't want to go off course. All I'm saying is I don't care about it. You make a choice. That's
Right.
your choice, right? Live with your choice. Know where you are in the world and what those consequences are, and carry on, right? I've always been saying this, like, you can't force your ideology on anybody, just like I can't force my ideology.
Yeah, you could.
No,
What you mean you can't?
no, it's wrong.
Oh, okay.
It's
Now
wrong.
don't say you can't because
It's wrong to do.
That's our culture.
Right?
We
So,
do that. We
I don't-
when we raise our children in this country, what you think we doing?
Enforcing our ideology.
Okay, then. So that's how you raise your children. You
But-
force your ideologies on your children.
Anyway, I just don't want people to feel. If you basic human rights, everybody deserves to have it, right? Basic rights within a country, everybody deserves to have it, and I think for too long, I think a lot of politicians have been pussyfooting around it. If gays, homosexuals want the right to pass on wealth and whatever, and the only way they can do that is through marriage or whatever the case may be, however the law is. Well, you say, you know what? I'm going to give you an avenue to have state-recognized unions that gives you guys the benefits for this without forcing the church and infringing on their constitutional rights to hold such ceremonies. And I think that's a compromise. I think there's a compromise. I think we've been pussyfooting around the compromise and blah, 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 whatever. Get over it. Whatever you do in your private home and behind closed doors is your business. Stop forcing me to consume it and normalize it.
Hold on now.
No,
I gotta ask. We having a conversation. Let me ask.
Go ahead.
Because I hear this a lot, right? What do you mean by forcing you to consume it?
Okay.
What does that mean? Because I hear people say all the time, "Don't force it on me," and this and that. What do you mean by that?
So, now, whether it be through media, whether it be through conversation or whatever, you cannot have an opposing view on homosexuality, on several things around that, without being labeled a bigot, homophobe, or whatever the case may be. It's always extreme talk if you have an opposing view.
But that's
not necessarily
no.
a reckless opposing view. You just have a difference of opinion.
I don't necessarily agree with that, right? Here's why. You and other people try to downplay it by saying, "Hey, it's just a difference of opinion. This is just how I feel." Sure. But if your difference of opinion or how you feel is the very definition of a bigot, then, my friend, you are a bigot. Don't try it. See, people try to downplay it as, "Well, I only disagree. That's just my opinion." Yes, and your opinion is bigoted. And that's what people like to skirt around.
What is the definition of a bigot?
If you have a gross intolerance for anybody else because of what they believe or their ideology, you are bigoted.
Okay, a gross intolerance. Did
Yes, and we can look up. I can put up the.
Did I just not find a common ground for everybody to get on, shut the hell up, and continue on in life, singing "Kumbaya"?
Say again.
Did I not just find a compromise for everybody to sing "Kumbaya"? Get on with life, do what they got to do, and continue to progress as a society, right? But yet, because I'm not, "Oh yes, the church has to marry you," blah blah blah. It's your God-given right. I'm a bigot.
Well, listen. Well, I Google bigot, right? And according to this definition,
Oh God.
most people would be bigots.
Let me
right?
hear this.
It says a person who is intolerant towards those holding different opinions.
A person that is what?
A person that is intolerant towards those holding different opinions.
Well, I guess the people that are opposing to my view are bigots as well.
Yes.
Okay, so anyway, so let's not use the words if we don't know the meaning. Thank you, Greg.
And that's what a lot of people do, and this is what gets me, right? Especially about Bahamians, right? We like to change the definition of words
To suit us.
exactly
Yeah.
to suit our position, right? Or how we feel. We like to change because I saw a post where someone wanted to. They were upset that they were not allowed to be a homophobe. They were like, "Man, listen, that's my right. I could be a homophobe," right? And it was a long thread. I wanted to comment on certain things that they said, but I said, you know what? Facebook,
Let it alone.
leave it alone because, I could get into it and we'd be back and forth, and that's a waste of time, right? But I can give you an example how people would switch the definition of words, right? And I can tell you what they said. Now, the initial post they say was, Okay, so if I stand against homosexuality and see it as an agenda, that makes me homophobic. Well, if homosexuals can be comfortable with their sexuality, I am just as comfortable being homophobic. If they are genetically predisposed to homosexuality, I am genetically predisposed to homophobia. Nonsense.
It's sarcasm. It's
yeah, of course, it's sarcasm if you read it that way, but you could read it other ways. It's just black and white. And they say, I can't change it. My father was homophobic. My grandfather, so is my mother and grandmother. They would all have to be based on the loose throwing around of the term. Why can't you liberals accept me for who I am and just get over it? My homophobia ain't bothering nobody, right? What about my human right to not be forced to accepting to live a lie? How about a little reciprocity? What is this? Reciprocity, sorry. Let's see how that works. I can't change your lifestyle and don't change mine. So basically saying, listen, you have the freedom to be gay, so let me have the freedom to be a homophobe, right? Which I understand.
I think that's severe, like a severe case.
No, but my thing is,
cases of sarcasm.
Here's why I don't have a problem with that per se, because you are accepting the titles that people put on you because of what you believe. So clearly, you are accepting that you are a homophobe. Fine. Now, I don't agree with your homophobia, but I respect you owning your homophobia. I don't agree with it. I don't agree with your position. But I respect you owning it. What I don't like is when people are homophobic and they try to dance around as though they are not. Okay. And this is what they do, what you just said earlier, as, oh, that's harsh terms, or just because I disagree, you won't call me this name. Well, if your opinion is very different, then you are.
You know why? I think it is. I think we put a lot of weight into labels.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So there are certain words that have a stigma that we don't want attached to us, whether we are personal brands or whatever the case.
Agreed.
And here's the thing. I'm a personality in the Bahamas, right? If I was a personality in the United States of America, a lot of the things that I say would have left me unemployed on the street. And exiled from society.
Maybe not, because the United States tends to be a lot more liberal and open and understanding than the Bahamas.
It all depends. It all depends on the market.
Oh, no, but then again, There's certain nuances.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, at the end of the day, this is a culture that we have to skirt and we have to run away from certain words, and it's just the reality of the situation. So if this guy is saying, you know what, I am homophobic, I don't agree with it, this is my stance, if you want to call me that, that's that, because I think everybody needs a dose of fuck it and fuck up. like that's a real thing. So.
But the example I wanted to give when it comes to people changing the definition of words is later on. I think someone kind of tied it to racism. So, like, I guess they were saying, so a person should be fine with being a racist, right? They should own their being a racist, right? Own their racism. And he said, racism is not prejudice. Racism is systematic. You are confusing the two. Now, he is completely wrong. Completely wrong.
Racism is prejudice.
Racism is the definition of prejudice, right? This is an example of people changing the definition of words. See, what he is doing is what a lot of people do, and Chrissy does it as well, because she doesn't believe that she is racist, because she feels you have to have some form of power, and it has
privilege.
to be systemic. Right, which is nonsense. That's systemic racism, right?
In this country,
systematic
black
racism.
Bahamians are racist.
Yes, most definitely some of the most racist people around. But see, they confuse the two. Racism is a prejudgment because you are judging somebody, but prior to knowing them, based solely on their what we could call race, which is the skin color. Right. So that is a prejudice. You can't say racism isn't a prejudice.
So we're racist and classist.
Yeah, classist is a prejudice too. And like someone said that the prejudice is the umbrella. and all of these other things fall under that prejudice, and it's based on what you make your prejudgment upon. So racism is you making a prejudgment based on race. Classism is you making a prejudgment based on class. Sexism is a prejudgment that you make based on sex. So all of these things are prejudices, but is what you base that prejudice off of is where we categorize it as that subset of prejudice. So that's why I disagree with that person saying that racism is not prejudice. That's nonsense.
So
he tried to change the definition of the word racism.
So let's look at this. Is there, because I feel that there are levels to everything.
Yeah.
And I think that there are, let's use the word for what it is.
Okay.
Homophobic individuals that just from a personal standpoint, don't agree with it, but they won't allow that homophobia to stop them from, one, interacting with the community, whether they be personal or professional, and two, don't discriminate personally or professionally. Like, you know what? That's what you choose to do. You choose to do it. I just don't agree with that. I think that's the base level. I think that's an acceptable level because everybody has a choice to make.
Right.
So whatever definition or word you want to slap on that, you slap on it. But let's just take the power out of the word and the ugliness of it. I think the extreme level of homophobia that we where the stigma comes from is the extreme bias, the discrimination, the probably threats of violence and all this other stuff. And that's why a lot of people that have homophobic thoughts or notions or whatever don't want to be associated with it because they denounce violence, they denounce discrimination against people. If that you choose to do what you want to do, that's all well and good with you. Because a lot of people say everybody got to go to God for themselves, and that's what that argument means. Like everybody has sin, everybody got to do their own thing. You do it,
right?
You know what I mean? And
right,
I think that's the case, and I think that's a level that we need to look at.
Makes sense. Makes sense because so basically, you're saying there are levels, and the word homophobia tends to be taken in that context of the extreme,
right?
The extremely negative end of the stick, to where you resort to discriminating, violence, and this kind of stuff, and so they don't want to be associated with that. Okay, that makes sense, but that it doesn't change the definition of the word, but that just goes to show you how powerful culture is, and how culture oftentimes supersedes these other things. Is what is common practice, what is culture in a society often stands. Yeah. You know what I mean? Above what may be written. Right. Even when it comes to law in a lot of circumstances. You know what I mean? And that just goes to show you the power of culture. But
I think I'm a hypocritical homophobe.
Just explain that for me, please.
Why I say hypocritical? Because I have my stance where I don't agree with it, but I make exceptions based on my personal involvement with certain individuals. Like say I have a friend that I go back 20 years, right? And they finally come out of the closet, right? I would accept them because at the end of the day, that's my friend, right? I personally wouldn't go out of my way to make a new gay friend. I personally...
Hold on now.
Right.
Hold on, let's go back now. Let's go back.
You understand what I'm saying?
Now, when you say you personally wouldn't go out of your way to make a new gay friend.
Like, yeah.
What is that? What exactly
what does that mean? Okay, I'm not a big friendly type person. So if you're in my clique, you've been in my clique for quite some time, right? And if I happen to make you a friend now, it's because that my circle has merged with yours or interacted with yours over a period of time, mainly because of professional reasons, because I'm not a very social person. I mix the two. So what I'm saying is, why I'm hypocritical, I don't agree with the lifestyle, but that's your personal choice. So I won't go out of my way, out of my comfort zone to insert myself in a situation where I feel that I would be uncomfortable, because at the end of the day, there are extreme where there are a lot of similarities. Everybody feels, everybody likes to have fun. We drink, we talk, we interact with sports, all that stuff.
Isn't that like the extent of your friendships? Like that's the extent of the relationship. So why does being gay come in at any point?
No, here's the thing. I've tried in a lot of situations to just have regular, like, let's go to dinner or whatever the case would be. And for some reason, no matter how it is, it's not me because I try and run away from that topic as far as it is. But the gay conversation or whatever happens to come up, and then it's a awkwardness, especially when you say, because I'm an outspoken person. I'll speak my mind, whatever. You mad, stay mad. I don't give a right? So, I mean, so I tend to stay away from that. But if you're someone that I have known, I know your character, we cool, like we Giants fans, or you're a Cowboys fan or Kobe hater, and we could talk smack. I could talk smack with you because I know on so many levels, like we are real friends, and you respect my opinion. I respect your opinion and lifestyle, but you know that when it comes down to that,
But that.
I think acceptance and respect goes along well.
Look who is calling now.
Who?
Hold on, let's just Chrissy. Yes, ma'am.
Gregory calling.
Christina, Marley, and Thompson. Russell back to Thompson.
You forget, I tell you, I didn't know I had to be at Wendy's until yesterday.
You know I doing the show, right? You coming or what? Anyhow, what time it is?
If I can still come at 6 o'clock.
Where you at?
I'm now passing Prospect Ridge, leaving Wendy's.
Oh, Lord. Jesus Christ. I think you can make that. But you getting out these.
What time you started?
We already started. We on the show now. I got the phone and the mic now.
Good thing I say no bad words.
Like that stopped you before.
This is true. Boy, it's amazing that as a Bahamian woman, I could make it there. I mean, the show ended at 7 o'clock, right?
Well, no, it's 7 o'clock. But finals coming on tonight. We wrapping up probably about how much? We almost half hour into the show.
Yeah, so 20 minutes.
We could be wrapping up about 6:40, 6:45.
Okay, well, okay, no, I have to be there next Thursday.
And we talking about one
you
of
don't
your.
want me there.
And we
a
talking.
little salty right now, a little seasoned.
You see that? And we talking about your favorite. We don't. What? Let me. While I got you on the phone, answer this question for me, Chrissy. Why you think Bahamians so obsessed with homosexuality? I see people sending around all kind of video and thing and getting they find these in a bunch.
I did a show on this, and you and Jay are going to be very mad when I say this.
Okay.
Most Bahamian men have latent homosexual tendencies. It has to go.
You know what?
Back to the,
and guess what? I ain't even mad. I agree with her.
Love-hate relationship with their mothers.
Wow. Really? Hold on. What do you mean?
Okay.
Break that one down for me.
Little boys, even though they want to emulate their father, their mother is the first woman who they look up to. And a lot of women are very cruel to their sons, which makes a kind of hatred envelop their sons, where they so are hating of the woman figure that they start gravitating towards the camaraderie of same-sex men. Because you see, look at men. Man, I do the game with my boys. Man, I go down with my boys. And you will go with your boys, but Bahamian men have latent homosexual tendencies.
Wow.
And it's not that I say that they act on it, but a lot of Bahamian men are very unsure of their sexuality. Because you have Bahamian men who would say things like, I have sex with men, but I'm straight.
What? What?
Like Jay. Look, Jay, you know who that is.
Say you know who? She say you know who that is. Jay,
I don't know who that is.
You know,
I don't.
in media, we know everybody. Sure, I have sex with men, but that doesn't mean I identify as gay.
Wow. But that is an interesting.
You know what? You know what? I'm not even gonna comment.
What are the three things Bayman obsessed with, Greg?
Well, we know homosexuality,
Right.
Haitians,
Right?
and I think it's a tie between politics and religion.
Heathens. People who don't accept Jesus Christ as their personal
Oh yeah, me.
savior. Yeah.
Yeah, me.
Look how they reacted to you.
Yeah. Hello? Oh yeah.
I can't believe I'm missing the show though. And you know I love your show because
But you on the show now? You on the show now?
I know, but when I in the chair I could breathe.
Yeah.
I could just
But that's interesting. That's
dear Bahamian man, address it. I just want Bahamian men to love themselves.
No, that's an interesting theory. I got to ponder on that one because that's not a position that you normally hear from people when it comes to.
I think she's onto something.
Yeah, that's not a theory that you normally hear people put out there. So that's interesting. I have to ponder on that one a little bit.
Yeah, ponder on that. A lot of Bahamian men don't like their mom.
Wow. So is there hatred for their mother that tends
the hatred
to
of the female?
The female that.
So again, it starts in the home.
But look around you. Look at the misogyny that is inherent in our town.
But isn't that? But when does culture come into play into that? Because culturally, we just have been a misogynistic, homophobic nation. Because that's just what we are. That's just what we do. We just raise people to say, well, listen, the woman is less than the man. The man's supposed to be the head. They supposed to always submit. And you're supposed to hate gays. Like, this is what they teach you from out of the womb. So when does culture come into play?
Teach you to hate gays.
Yes, they do.
It's a part of the culture.
I was
That is
never,
culture.
ever
Because, Greg, you
instructed to
before you
hate
became enlightened,
gays.
you felt the same way. Remember?
Exactly, and that's what
I salute you for that.
And that's what I'm saying. And I too was homophobic at one point, and it's because that is the culture. Like, the people you grow up around, these are the things that they do and they say. And
the Bible?
You just tend to cling to, the beliefs of the people that you love the most and that you come up around and with.
Yeah, there's a fear of the feminine. It's just like how I remember one time my son fell out of the tree, and the first thing his father said to him when he was crying, "Boy, stop crying, stop being a big woman."
Wow.
I'm like, he just fell out of a tree.
And even and we even refer, when you want to refer to somebody as being soft or less than, you call them a vagina.
Exactly.
Now, of course, you don't say vagina, but you
Exactly.
say a female part to refer to them as weak.
Right, the female cursing and despising the feminine is a part of our culture as black people, especially because, again, people hate when I bring up slavery. But remember, a lot of these homoerotic issues come from slavery as well. Remember when you wanted to break the black man, you made him have sex with the other slave, or the overseer had sex with him.
Say
the
what?
cycle of the
Yeah,
black
yep,
man and
yep, that's true.
homosexuality goes very deep.
Wow.
Buck breaking and all that stuff. It's a part of our psyche. Look at Jamaica. That's why there's so much homophobia in the Caribbean. It goes back to slavery as well.
That's interesting. But then again, like
That's some history right
don't
there,
you think
people.
we are, I don't want to say so far removed, but we are a bit like our generation and the people coming up after us don't really have much of a connection to slavery. So how much does that come into play in this generation?
It's a genetic wave, Greg.
How you know? When you studied genetics? When
I'm
you start studying genetics?
Just look at it like this. If you throw a rock into if you throw a rock into a still
You say it's a
pond,
genetic wave.
if you throw a rock in a still pond, the ripples move further away from the impact, and it keeps going for miles before it's calm again. It's going to take it's going to take generations and cultivating a new psyche to remove some of the bad habits that we have in our psyche.
Well, I'll be honest with you. When I hear people justifying their homophobia or their misogyny, they often refer to the Bible. I can be honest with you.
Of course.
They don't refer to.
Religion is a big part of it.
Yeah, I think religion is the biggest part of it.
It is.
I'm not going to say.
Christian.
Yeah.
Especially Christianity and Muslim and Islam. Not
Yes.
so much Judaism, but definitely Christianity and Islam.
Yeah.
Definitely very homophobic. But the person you worship used to hang around with 12 men. Anyway, child, let me go. I gone.
Yeah, Chrissy,
Have a
drive.
good show.
Drive safe. Thank you for contributing.
Bye.
I'm in this traffic.
Yeah, you have fun with that. But thank you for calling. We got your contribution. We appreciate it. And I guess we'll see you next week
Under the rug on everything.
on everything.
Greg Carly, boy, when the history book is written, they can say, this is the man who started it, giving people free expression without any kind of qualms.
Well, we need that, man. You don't think it's about time?
I agree, but there's a price you pay.
Of course. Well, I know we all here willing to pay that price because we recognize the significance of the movement
you.
and what we need in this country.
Thank you, and I get this check from the people I can buy 5 dozen cookies. Thanks.
All right, Chrissy.
All right, Greg. Bye, Jay.
Bye, Chrissy.
Later. That's interesting, Jay.
No, and here's the thing. Everything she said is based on history, because it's not only the homophobia or homosexual tendencies. It's a lot of the bad thing, prejudice against other blacks, whether it be from skin tone, light skin versus dark skin, classism, because these are the things that were used to divide us and bring us to heel for so long in the slave era, in the slavery era. So what she says has a lot of merit.
That's interesting. But we do have a strong case of misogyny as well in this country, and homophobia, and like I said, I believe it stems from Christianity, because I think in the Caribbean region, or the most the most religious nations tend to be the most homophobic and misogynistic nations. If you look at it, Caribbean,
I
like
could
she
agree.
said, a lot of Muslim countries, some of the most religious countries tend to be the most homophobic and misogynistic countries. So that's what I, like to refer to. And like I say, also when I hear people justify their position or say why they feel the way they feel about these things, they often refer to the Bible and particular verses. We do the cherry picking. We pick the voices that,
Well, the only common story is Sodom and Gomorrah.
Oh my goodness! And a lot of people don't even know. And I could guarantee you, Jay, we need to ask. We need to just go around and randomly ask people. I think we need to do that. Just go out on a camera and a mic and go ask people. Like, ask them their stance on homosexuality, and then ask them why. And then when they say Sodom and Gomorrah, because they can say it, ask them to tell the story of Sodom and Gomorrah. And let's see how much people actually know the story, or they just used to people referring to that when it comes to homophobia.
Don't
and
ask me because I
homosexuality.
actually know the story, okay? I know the story, okay? I'm not Donald Trumping it. I know the story.
Because, boy, I think you would be surprised how much people don't know. Do not know the story. But yet, that's their key argument. Now, let me run through some of these comments. Clarice Petty says, hey, Greg and guest. Hey, Clarice. What happened? We still live, right?
Yeah, we are.
Oh, okay. Just making sure. All right. All right, let me go down. Oh, Lord. Look here, Lisa. Plot twist. The wife already knows, and it's in their agreement, but he wasn't supposed to get caught. What? She knows something we don't know it.
Boy,
She said
she's the plug for everything Bahamians, though.
Look here, this Canadian plug right into the Bahamas. And she said it's sad that it's not accepted. I think she's talking about, I guess, homosexuality. Jasper Stone says, sad people allow religion to do the thinking for them. I agree. What's the saying? Portia says, who was your guest? Well, Portia, my guest is Jay Isaacs. Jay Isaacs is co-host. Jay Isaacs is usually here with me on Thursdays. We do the show, with Chrissy. I kidnap them on a regular basis now because it's hard to get certain people. So they always down to have good discussions on these topics. So that's Jay Isaacs.
Why Portia would know who your guest is? She trying to get me fired?
You better be careful, people petty like that.
I know. But at the end of the day, my value is in my work. So.
Yeah. E.J. Stewart Mitchell says, gays just want to be respected for who they are, not accepted because a gay person isn't seeking validation from anyone.
I doubt that.
What? Now, why would you doubt that?
Some individual gays may have that very perception, right? But I feel the wider community, the elite, the politicians amongst them, because every movement has politicians. So every movement, once it's a collective body and they wield that power, they have an agenda and they push it. Now, like I said, there are individuals, because not everybody fits into that mold, where they just want to be respected as a human being and for the choice that they make, right? And I get it and I understand it. And so on an individual to individual base, because I am on level 1 of homophobia, I accept.
So you on level 1? But at least you admit that.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm not fully embracive of it, but I will not discriminate against you because that's a choice that you decide to make. As long as you're respectful, I'm respectful to you, and we can coexist, that's good.
Well, maybe EJ is speaking for the ones that feel that way, because it's never going to be all and it's never going to be none.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In any category or anything, it's never going to be none or all. So,
but there is politics in the LGBT
There's politics
community,
in everything.
and there is an aggressive.
there's politics in the NBA. There's politics in everything.
No, but I'm saying, but this movement is very, very aggressive, and there needs to be checks and balances. And because I've seen some things over the last few years, and it's not about gay.
What you mean? Tell me. Give me an example.
Like,
Give us an example.
I saw this kid. He couldn't have been more than 9 on the gay parade, partly naked, probably in just a jockey. This is some parade in the States, and I think it was a documentary. I was in some film festival or whatever, and he was talking and commenting about how proud he is about his gay lifestyle or his gayness or his gay identity, however you want to phrase it, right? And I pretty much was one of the only persons that I think in that was disturbed by it, because I was looking at him as a child. How is it that this young man has such an extreme case of sexual identity. Like, who
Now, let me ask
massaged this thought in his mind? You know what I mean? Because I feel that whether it be heterosexual or homosexual, I think kids should be off limits.
Let me ask you.
The gay sauna and all this other stuff. Yeah.
On that point,
Yeah.
do you feel that way also about religion?
Yeah. I think everybody should have a choice.
Okay.
I think everybody should have especially on things that carry lifelong fulfillment and that's a thing. I think you should choose.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't forced to be baptized in the Seventh-day Adventist church. I went to the
But you was forced to go.
No, I wasn't.
You wasn't forced to go to church.
Uh-uh.
If you say, "Mommy, I ain't going to church,"
I stayed home.
Okay,
When I
that's
said
interesting.
I
That's
didn't
rare.
want to go to, but my mother wasn't a 7 day Adventist. I had all right before I went to Bahamians Academy. I had a friend that's pretty much a friend of the family that was a godparent, pretty much us, and she decided to take us to church and whatever, and we fell off, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to Bahamians Academy because it was a good school, and my mom wanted to send us to private school or whatever, and I made friends there, and it was like, I just wanted to see what they did on the weekends, and I went, and I liked the atmosphere, and I decided to keep going back, and I started to go with my neighbor that happened to be a Seventh-day Adventist, and she took us every Saturday, and then she started to drop us to school, and we formed a good relationship. So no one forced me to accept
But you
that.
realize that you're the exception, that ain't the rule. But I got to run, get something out the car. I want you to read a couple of the comments. I want to tackle Silvano comment when I come back.
Okay.
So don't read that one, but read the rest and address them. I got to run, get something out the car. Somebody come for something.
Oh, Jesus. Like, oh, my God. Okay, you telling me to read. You know I don't read good, right? I'm kidding. Let's read some of these comments. So, against the Bible, preach sister, reach late. Homophobia is fair. What is it? What? I need to read it?
That hot spot off of that. I almost get that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, homophobia is fair. What is it that you fear? Homophobic people are normally the bullies that don't seem to be scared to me. If you missed our definition of homophobia, and we said that it's prejudice, and there are levels to it. Like I said, at the base level, there are people that just have the opposing view. They don't embrace it, but they don't wish any type of harm towards individuals that choose that lifestyle. They just don't agree with it. And to label them as homophobic like the stigma, the real nastiness of homophobia, I think is pretty much borderline wrong, you know, because there are levels to everything, you know. Let me just read some more comments. If you're going to hate me and treat me like shit because I believe in different things than you do, I don't want you in my life. If you are going to kill people because they believe in a different... Again, that's an extreme case of homophobia, racism, and all these other stuff. I think we could agree on a lot of things, and the common and the places that we don't agree, I think we just could find an understanding and a mutual respect for each other, because at the end of the day, we have to respect human beings. That's essentially what we should be doing in any event. Now, you attack this by... Not attack him.
No, not attack. But I see, because what they said, they are right to, at least the first part I read, right? So, Silvano says, phobia is a fear. What is your fear? Homophobic people are normally the bullies. They don't, what is it? They don't seem scared to me.
And I think he would have missed our point where we were talking about being levels of homophobia and people that we described it having intolerance or whatever, the fact that it is, right? Mm-hmm. And we said that there are levels to it. So I think even though all people are labeled homophobes, if you have an opposing view or whatever, the ones that are violent are the ones that really cause the stigma. And I think that should be a separate... There should be something else for that than just lumping everybody into one pit.
What I think they are, and it is valid, they're saying phobia is a fear, which is correct.
And I don't think all people that are homophobic are bullies. I think people have their homophobic views,
right,
and they tend to stay to themselves and shy away from the community because they don't want to. They just don't agree with it. Whether they're Christian, Muslim, or even some atheists don't agree with it. So you know what I mean. So,
but I want to address what they fear. Mm-hmm. Now, when you speak to a lot of Bahamians, especially, they speak about homosexuality as though it is an airborne, contagious plague or disease that if allowed to get out somehow, it is going to take over the entire planet and everybody is going to be gay. That is an irrational.
I doubt that.
Now this is
highly.
now they don't come out and say that, but when they speak about it, it comes off that way.
And that's the ignorant ones.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
But most
ones.
are, and I think for you to be homophobic, you almost have to be ignorant to a degree. But I don't like to use, and that's not using ignorant like with a negative connotation that most people do, because we all are ignorant. No one knows everything, so we are all ignorant to some things in life. So that's not that's not an insult. But what you mean, I think, is a lot of people may be misinformed or may just be straight up ignorant about certain things. But when they speak about it, they have this fear, like, what if I can't allow my children to see this? That, in some cases, is a fear because they feel as though their children being exposed to it is somehow going to influence their children and then force them or make them become gay.
You know what it is as well.
That is a fear. That is a form of fear.
I think any heterosexual, like true heterosexual, not what Chrissy described, the most Bahamian men to be, or parents to be, right? I think it's a fear of failure, and it's the prize of failure, ultimate failure, either being a criminal that goes before the courts, dying way too young because of certain lifestyles you choose, or being gay, or just a complete bum. Like, those are the four things that no parent wants their children to be in the Bahamas. Most, not all,
right.
But most.
That's
right?
True.
So I feel that because parents know deep within themselves that they are failing their kids, they're failing them by not providing proper structures, failing them by not providing proper instructions in life, on life things, that anything that goes contrary to this structure that's supposed to be there by default, and because I'm not helping to reinforce positively and feeding and nurturing my kids, that they will be influenced to go against the grain. It's because they're not there to properly teach them, and they know that, so anything is an attack, right? So for me, the way I want to bring my kids up is to be open and honest about this is what exists.
You better.
I honestly feel that this is not the norm. I will not shun you or whatever if this is what you choose to do. But at the end of the day, I feel that this is biologically the right course of action. And that's practical.
And you know what I found interesting, and my boy Stephen Hanna made an awesome point a while back. He was on a show. And I was like, you know what? I never even look at it like that. And here's how crazy we are, right? We would, let's speak generally, Bahamians would allow their children to watch the most violent, shoot them up, kill them up, punch them up, fight them up shows and movies. But would be outraged if their children were to see, let's say, a gay couple, just holding hands or embracing, hug or kiss, hold hand, any form of would be considered to be intimate or public display of affection. They would be outraged, cover their child eyes. So we encourage our children to view acts of violence with no problem, but acts of love, when it comes to same-sex people, is an issue. Isn't that strange?
Because that's where the hypocritical homophobe comes in.
Like that makes no sense.
That's another level of hypocrite.
But that would explain why we are so violent as a nation. Because violence is okay. However, homosexuality, oh hell no. Don't you dare.
Choose your evil.
Don't you dare.
I guess for them it's choosing your evil. I think their thing is, because if it's depicted in the media, if it's depicted in the media, they could say, oh, the kids should know that this is a filter, this is fairy tale, this is make believe, this isn't a real person.
What you mean?
All right. I'm just trying to spin for these stupid parents, right? Just say Scarface.
Okay. Right.
Scarface is an extremely violent film.
Yes.
If you watch it, if you let your kids watch it without saying that this is a make-believe character, whatever, played by an actor, blah, 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 you just allow them to consume it, you assume that they know this, right? I think with homophobia, because it hits home and it's becoming more and more abundant and seen in the public as real life, they tend to be like, oh, well, I gotta fight this one. You know what I mean? Because a lot of kids, unless you are in certain ghettos or inner city communities, you really don't see that gangsterism or it took me I saw my first gangster when I was like 13.
Where you grew up, young man?
I was in Golden Gates. I was a very shunned child. My mother wouldn't let us go in the parks or whatever. So it was school, home, in your books, go to bed. I saw my first gangster when I was
and you can tell 13. You ain't lying because you say gangster with an ER. You ain't even say A, you say gangster.
Yeah, no real. And then I remember because I went to Bahamians Academy and I wore black and white. People thought I went to Shaw, so they thought I was a bad boy. And I was like, "Why y'all confusing my uniform? I go to Bahamians Academy." You know what I mean? So
right.
It's just what you're exposed to, and I think, like I said, parents have a fear because they know they're not doing their jobs at home, and they don't want anything to go against their default program. And I think homosexuality, because it's so abundant, it's so vibrant out in the world today, and we're now in a very PC culture, and we're in the PC era.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So it's acceptance is being taught. You could be accepted if you do incest, whatever.
Well, I think a lot of the Western, the United States in the PC era. We are
in a PC era. We're fighting it. We are.
We kind of, but I am still amazed at some of the things that people say and are allowed to say in public forums and on radio and stuff. Some of the most hate. Now, mind you, I ain't saying that I want it censored. I am for censorship. I want to know just what you vote and who you are. Fine, but we are not as PC as, say, America or some other places that are more liberal or accepting of certain things. We are still pretty rugged when it comes to what we say about certain topics and raw. I can tell you that because some of the things people
in
say,
certain forums, but I see, and in the PC culture is becoming it's censoring, and I because I work in the mainstream media, I see it more. So yeah.
Wow. Interesting. All right, so you read what else?
I read the majority of them that actually had something legit to say.
Okay, well, Sherwood Raming says, always rooted and fair. And says, because love would promote your child to do what they want so long as it doesn't bring harm to others. I agree with that, but we don't promote much love in this country. For some reason, I don't understand it, but I think it's culture, mainly. We raise hard, rough, tough. You know what I mean? And we're reaping the benefits of that right now, which is why we're experiencing all this violence and why we have so many fearful people that don't take chances. We have a lot of sheeple that just go along because that's how we raise our people in this country. But Elisa says being exposed is the key. And I agree. And you know the interesting thing, Elisa? That's how you pronounce her name?
I say Alyssa.
Alyssa. Okay. Alyssa, you know what the interesting thing is in this country? You said being exposed is the key, but in the Bahamas, like Jay just explained, what we tend to do is we tend to shelter. We tend to censor. We tend to block. We tend to try and keep our children away from the things that they probably should be exposed to. So what we do is we keep those things away, and we use fear to try and control children, as opposed to exposing them to these things and I think that would be the most effective way to raise not just your children but an entire nation, would be to expose. Listen, this is a reality. I don't know why we try to pretend like these things don't exist or don't happen. It's like anytime, like you say, a new scandal come up when it comes to homosexuality or things happen.
1,000 shares.
I mean, it's like this is life. These things happen.
You know what? But especially when we're both in the PC era, but we're in that social media era where video is damning. And just like the Kim Kardashian sex tape brought a certain level of notoriety to her and her family, it's the same thing here, but it just has a negative connotation. You know what I mean? So we use it to dumb and down people. And today, it's you. Tomorrow, it's me.
You better don't be recording that.
I don't record nothing.
Listen, I ain't recording nothing, and I make sure you ain't recording nothing. So you ain't gonna catch me slipping.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing happening around here. You ain't gonna catch me. But people, I don't know why y'all so obsessed. Anytime y'all is get so excited, all y'all Superman jockey and Pocahontas Pondies be tied right up in a bunch. Anytime some kind of gay act or gay video or something come up, listen, gay people are people. They here, they been around, always were here. They didn't just see no invention that just come about that's about to take over the planet. They've been around. Let's get real and just come to grips with the fact that this is a reality. They people, they citizens just like you. They deserve the same rights you do. There's no need, something shouldn't be special just because homosexuality is involved with it. You know what I mean? Because I see a lot of other things slide, but the minute homosexuality is involved, then it's a big topic. It's a big story. You know what I mean? Simply because of that. Just because homosexuality is involved. So I don't know. I still don't get why Bahamians get so excited. Maybe it's something to what Chrissy say. Maybe they are latent, have latent homosexual tendencies on the inside.
Hey.
I don't know.
Hey.
Maybe something to it. Because there's no way you getting that excited over something that you don't care about and that don't involve you. You getting a little too excited. You need to look at you sideways, maybe.
And I just could put this out here, right? I'm glad that I have friends that even when it's the bloody scenes, they don't send me the pictures or videos and all that stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Don't send me no videos, especially don't do it. I will block, delete you, and remove you from my circle.
Yeah, but I don't really get them. Like I say, I just the couple minutes that I happen to browse across Facebook, I just see people talking about it and. Someone else told me about this video, and I said, listen, I don't know why you always get excited every time these things come out. You got to be lacking somehow in your life to get excited over these kind of things. Like, you really got too much time on your hands. You need to do something with your life. But anyhow, Jay, NBA Finals coming on tonight. We done do an hour.
Cleveland getting beat.
Well, I know we can see. You sound like you was a Cleveland hater or a LeBron hater.
I'm a LeBron hater. I like Kyrie, though. I love Kyrie.
Yeah, I like Kyrie. Kyrie, good. Let me read. That's the last comment. She says, oh, I know the stuff I get on my feed and messages. It's like, why are you watching and sharing this? This shouldn't be watched. You get one like porn video and everyone talks about it. That's true. I mean, you get one porn video and all of a sudden, I mean, people just have sex. How you think you get you? And anyhow, she say, or you get one person who is in a gay video and everybody talks about it. News travels fast, but it's not always good news or happy news. It's like gossip and drama crap. Focus on the good stuff. Support each other. Accept each other. Less hate. Don't kill each other, etc. I agree. I couldn't agree with you more, Alyssa, but unfortunately.
But she is so top to this community.
Yeah, shoot. But unfortunately, this is the era we live in where people look for negativity and drama. The sensationalism is what gets the headlines and what travels the fastest and gets the most shares. I personally don't care about what two consenting adults doing in their bedroom. That's on them. If they want, anyway, I ain't getting no graphic detail.
Nope.
whatever they decide to do.
You watched it, didn't you?
No, I didn't. Let me tell you, I don't even know if someone sent it to me. How big was it? Because someone sent me a big file.
Hold on. I still have it on.
Someone sent me a big file, but I didn't even download it. I don't know if that's what it was.
And that's why I'm so glad I turned off that automatic.
Yeah, I have to actually download it. I don't know if that's what it was. I don't care.
It is 1.6 mega. And just to show proof, Greg.
1.6 mega?
Megabyte.
Okay, so, but
you see, it's not downloaded to my phone. You see? Greg, tell the people. Well, don't you touch my phone, Blake.
No. Well, if that's it, I don't even have it in my phone. Nobody even sent it to me.
It looked like him, though. No.
And I ain't getting that. Ain't nobody sent it to me, and I don't want nobody send it to me because I don't care. If that's what they doing, that's on them. It don't matter to me. I know what I do in mine, and that's all I'm concerned about. You all could worry about other people's bedroom if you all want to, but that ain't me. So, anyhow, thank you, Jay.
You're welcome.
Thank you for showing up,
People need to stop being scared to have conversations. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Say what you need to say, get off your chest. maybe you might get some brownie points with the wider community for being honest.
Yeah, man. You got these styrofoam people, man. They made a styrofoam soft, scared to talk, scared to say what's really on their mind. That's why I could respect someone that's honest and says what's on their mind. I don't have to agree with it, and I can tell you if it don't make sense and if it's nonsense, but at least you have the courage to say what's really on your mind. But anyhow, on that note, people, again, y'all stop getting excited over these things. Please, people is have sex. Gay people around. Gay people is have sex too. You get here by people having sex. Stop sharing people videos. If you're getting excited over that, you need to find a hobby or do something, start a business, do something with your time because obviously you got too much. But thank you for tuning in. This has been Under the Rug Podcast. We do this every Thursday at around 5:30-ish, around there, whenever all us reach. We do it every week, and we appreciate you for following us. If you like the content, you like the video, please share it. Share it with all your friends. Tag them in it. Hopefully we could give them some information. Share it with your friends. And we'll be again next week. We'll be back. I don't know what we can be talking about then, but I'm sure something can happen that can get our attention and we can talk about it. So, on that note, do something with your time, something productive. Later!